one of the hardest parts for me was, the times that my son felt really negatively about himself. And we would hear, even from a young age, I'm not smart. And I'd like to know how everybody handles that.
When my son came home and struggled and said that, I'm not smart. I'm not as smart as my classmates. How come they get it and I don't? So I had all these wonderful positive words that are true. These, this is part of who he is, to counter that thought process of I am not good enough. You have weaknesses, but that doesn't define who you are.
Any kid who's going to struggle is probably going to face situations where they're going to feel that way or say that about themselves. We try to point out things that have been said over the years. For instance, when he was in second grade and he still wasn't able to read, when we had a meeting at school, his teacher said, "This is one of the most out-of-the-box thinkers I've ever met in my life." And so, we kind of try to reinforce with those type of situations. And sometimes they're just not going to take it. And I think it's good to get some outside support through therapy. And
right, yeah. You have to say I'm smart because you're my parent.
exactly, right, yeah.
Exactly.
It's much harder to have those conversations with my youngest son, who struggles with dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, as well as a host of other things as well, has had to move school placements multiple times, change curriculums, increase supports, et cetera, et cetera. So I can't just tell him, you're an out-of-the-box thinker, even if he is, because he has a whole institutional system that he has to go into every single day, where that system says otherwise.
Right.
Definitely my son internalized it very, very early on. I mean, I saw it when he was young. I think he would remove himself. He wouldn't want to do art projects, little things like that. So for me, I think a lot of it was finding the things that he did well. Also focusing in on the things that he enjoyed. So be it if we put him in basketball early, if he started skiing and snowboarding early, he loves the outdoors. I think that made him feel really special and really loved. I think it's still an issue of self-worth, but I think finding things that he enjoys and making them as equal of a platform as the academics. We have not completely just focused in on, you've got to be this academic person, you got to go to college. He thinks he's going to be a tennis pro.
Well,
I'm happy to be sitting up at the U.S. Open in the box with the